If you wanted to make us safe, pass gun reforms. Stop cutting Medicaid. Stop cutting cancer research. Stop cutting funds for veterans. That is what will make our city safe.
Yes, thank you. I yield back.
Mayors of Democratic cities, or I guess Democratic mayors of cities, excuse me, let's be specific. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams of New York, and who's this white guy? I don't care. No, I'm kidding. I don't know who the last guy is. But they were all in Congress today because they were answering questions about sanctuary cities and being awful bastions of crime and how dare they. And so they were being grilled, and there was some fun choice moments, including the grilling of Eric Adams by AOC. But let's just start sort of on its face, like in terms of like the kinds of things that were talked about and said. Here is Jasmine Crockett just kind of setting the tone for this hearing, again, grilling these mayors about their sanctuary city policies. And I just love this.
To touch on something, because I know that many of you prepared for today's hearing by making sure that you got a little bit of information about immigrants and crime in your cities. Let me ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions that has still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions
No,
from the
Congresswoman.
immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious because we are so concerned about crime, and I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around because that could be a danger to the community. But I will move on. The Republicans.
Okay, so that was perfect because she's like basically calling BS on the fact that there is a straight up convicted felon in the highest office in the land right now. And I think it's important to remember that without being, overly reliant on sort of the felony demonization. That's important. This was I thought Brandon Johnson had some really important moments in this hearing to like clap back at the fear mongering around crime in cities like Chicago. And Chicago is a sanctuary city. And so I just really appreciated, let me see, I'm going to go to this one. I just appreciated this. And I kind of appreciated, Democrats on the Hill doing, these Democratic mayors kind of a solid and teeing them up for them to be able to defend their cities, defend their policies, defend their political positions, given that this entire hearing was really just a charade to try to strong arm them into, okay, you can raid all my entire city. And we know that Chicago has been a thorn in the side of Tom Homan. The borders are, because Chicagoans know their rights. And so they're pissed. Borders are pissed because the people of Chicago are like, nah, I'm not opening. You don't have a signed warrant. What's going on, right? And they're protecting each other. And so Tom Homan, again, walking sentient whitehead, is very mad.
First, Mayor Johnson, the city of Chicago operates under 4 sets of laws: federal, state, county, of course, Chicago's own laws, right?
That is correct.
And most of these laws are not within Chicago's sole power to change. For example, the Illinois Trust Act, a state law, was enacted in 2017 by then Republican Governor Bruce Rauner and dictates interactions between ICE and law enforcement, right?
That is correct.
And under Chicago's own law, I have a copy of it right here, Chicago is required to help ICE whenever ICE presents a judicial criminal warrant for an arrest, correct?
Yes.
In fact, Chicago has assisted ICE with criminal warrants in the past, right?
Yes.
So just to clear it up, anytime that ICE does the work and goes to a court to get a criminal warrant to arrest somebody, the city of Chicago not only is required to, but does cooperate to remove that criminal from our community, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so this is just sort of like an opening salvo to get you to understand, and this is beautiful, that, Chicago complies with the law when there are criminals who need to be arrested and brought to justice. That is a habit. Because they are a sanctuary city does not mean if there's someone who is a criminal, no matter what their status is, they are not giving that person up to law enforcement or whomever. The premise of a sanctuary city is that being undocumented, not having your papers, waiting on your hearing, seeking asylum, being processed, being one of the 11 million people who is working, who is paying taxes, who contributes to the economy, that is not grounds for arrest and deportation. That in and of itself is not a crime, okay? It's not a crime to cross the border. It is a violation. It is not a crime to overstay your visa. It is a violation, and they will not be treated on the same level that a violent criminal will be. And again, back to the people who say, well, maybe we just agree that there's some violent criminals and get rid of them. That's not what they're doing. It's not what they're doing. It's never been what they're doing. They've told us what they're doing. They've laughed in our faces, including Stephen Miller, advisor to the president, about the fact that there is no difference between being undocumented and just being a rapist, a murderer, a theft, whatever, a thief, a theft. Although, you know, I'm not as like crazy worried about the thieving.
Mayor Johnson, can you tell us a little bit about?
Sorry, so this is Greg Gosar asking Brandon Johnson again. Again, I love this sort of like this volleying between Democrats to explain and to sort of, neutralize what is such a charade.
Mayor Johnson, can you tell us a little bit about measures your office has implemented to address the root causes of violence in Chicago?
Thank you for that question. Yes. So first of all, it's great to report that violence is down in the city of Chicago, and it has gone down since I've been in office as a result of a couple of measures. One, we've reopened 3 mental health clinics because we do know that mental health issues, and we are in a very severe mental health crisis. We've also increased the number of youth employment. We have hired almost 28,000 young people for last summer. This year, we have an opportunity to hire up to 29,000 young people. We've also built more homes. Just last year, we've appropriated $11 billion, 37,000 construction jobs in the works for almost 10,000 more affordable units. And we have promoted and hired 200 detectives to increase trust between community and law enforcement to solve the crimes that do occur in our city.
Like, look at him. He's just like, yes. So youth employment, which absolutely lack of employment leads to, whatever, vagrancy or gang activity, blah, 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 blah. We're offering people opportunities. We are opening mental health clinics because mentally ill people should not just be subject to the whims of the streets. They should be treated. They should have options if they so want them, right? That's important for cutting down on crime. To say nothing, I mean, guys, we are being told with a straight face that Republicans care about crime when they are, again, stripping healthcare, stripping food access, making everyone's lives that much more insecure, doing absolutely fuck all about inflation or, price gouging from corporations, which is really what it is. The Housing and Urban Development Department is getting rid of its homelessness services. And you want me to take your line about crime seriously? Are you kidding me? The very thing that you are enacting will 100% increase precarity and despair. And yes, crime. Crime is often theft, illicit drugs, drug use, drug selling can often be a result of that kind of poverty. It's a result of poverty. The fact that we can't say that is just so wild to me. That is simultaneously happening. And these bitches want us to think that like crime is actually real and on the rise. And and on top of that is coming from undocumented people. Oh my God. People who do not want to mess up their chances at getting an asylum claim heard and confirmed. Yeah. They're super violent. Yeah. No, definitely. Those people are absolutely the ones who commit all the crime. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do